Alright, but hey guys, let's talk. Hello everybody. Glad to see you actually didn't flee. Let's get to the matter at hand. Did you kill the Queen of Luceria, Zest? Yes. And no. What is that supposed to mean? And what the hell is that thing you brought with you? Okay, let me explain. All I wanted was an easy life. Just to get by without doing all that much. Follow the safe path. My family was not rich, but we managed to get me into pantology studies at the Lucarian Multiversity. Said to be the most prestigious learning institution for the non-magical arts. Who says that? They do. I see. Why pantology, though? It's not exactly a very useful science in the real world. Not in most places, but if you manage to earn enough honors, you'd end up working for the court. The kings of Luceria are proud of having well-educated people in their palace. Gives them prestige, I suppose. Bit of a gamble. Must be pretty much the only lucrative way to make use of that field. You managed to get the job? Yes. For almost a couple of years, life was comfortable. Perhaps a bit too comfortable. Until I was chosen to organize that damn festival. The Festival of Doom. You called it that? The name was fitting. It was a festival displaying the monstrous beast that invaded us during the last near apocalypse. You know, all that stuff that came through the portals during the Desperate Stand and never really left. Well, Luceria wasn't very affected by the whole ordeal. We still got a fine selection of horrible things introduced to our ecosystem. We thought a display would be fun and marginally educational, the kind of thing courtiers enjoyed. Much to my grief, I was given the task to oversee the expenses. The expenses? But you're horrible at that. I am, but that did not matter. You see, in Luceria, we have this book. Book? The Red Book. A national treasure, said to be linked to demonic magic from the era of myth. Pretty much makes the country unassailable. How? You know how most monarchs and powerful people in the world might possess some ill-gotten riches? Everyone sort of knows that. You also know how Luceria has a reputation of being flexible when it comes to making those ill-gotten riches become clean. Everyone has heard the talk, yes. Well, everything is in that book, the Red Book of Insured Civility. It magically and automatically records every single transaction in Luceria, be it clean or otherwise. If you try to flip it through, you'll see it has more pages than it looks like, and most of them keep writing themselves, kind of tricky to navigate. The book also took care of all the expenses in the kingdom. I was just supposed to make sure all the listed beasts in the festival had been purchased. Just had to take a glimpse at it for a couple of minutes. Wasn't really necessary or reasonably for a lowly clerk to even hold the thing. A lot of people frowned at the idea. But the queen liked to use the national treasure at her leisure, to flaunt them. She was also using the excuse to take a private tour so I could tell her a few bits of the info about the critters before the festival was open. You know, so she could casually drop them in conversation later and look wise. Very flaunty, our queen. We were at the heart of the palace. The entrances were well guarded, the creatures were in deep, inescapable pits, and I was just an inoffensive clerk. Everything was perfectly safe, right? Right. Well, I was busy checking the book. I did not pay attention to the floor, where there had been animals all over the place, and one of them had left a little present on the ground. I stepped in it, and slipped. The queen had her back turned to me when I collided with her, propelling her head first into the animal pit she was peeking into. Rabid, vampire, mongooses. Oh my god! So it was an accident! Oh my god! Bro, Zest, what the hell? It wasn't a pretty sight, but on the bright side, she didn't even have to scream much. Not enough for the guards to come in, at least. Ah, the bright side for you, you mean? I panicked, with good reason. There were no witnesses, no way I was getting out of the situation with a head on my shoulders, so I escaped through a very disgusting waste conduit. And after years on the run, here I am. And you took the book with you? This book right here? Yes. The book with all the dirty secrets... book with all the dirty secrets of all the kings in the continent? Yes. The book that will make every single powerful person in the civilized world want to kill you if they even suspect you've taken a glance at it? Yes. Why the hell are you carrying this abomination around? Because I can't do otherwise. The thing is indestructible, and if I throw it into the sea or bury it somewhere, then its magic will bring it back to the current custodian. Why would that be a problem? Well, because I am the current custodian. The monarch can bind the book to a second person in case of dire need. They do that by writing their name on the first page. And Queen Yerga, being the adult she was, bound the book to me. Because she could! And now she's dead, and the book is not bound to the current king, so they can't summon it back.
Wait! So your real name is in there then?
Well, yes, but there might be more important things to worry about, like my impending doom and all that.
Maybe, but taking a peek isn't going to make things worse.
Zest. His real name is Zest. I knew it was real name is Zest. Zest? Zestrum.
I see. So that's your real name.
It is.
Your real name has actually been Zest all this time.
No, not Zest. Zest.
It's exactly the same!
What are you saying? It sounds completely different.
Okay, we are in a grave situation. First of all, you should keep this book hidden or we will all lose our heads.
That's true. The only reason I'm not hunted by every nation in the world is that Luceria desperately needs to keep this a secret. However, Concordia, of all places, is where the danger is low.
Concordia? Are you serious? This might be the most corrupt kingdom in the world!
Precisely. The local aristocrats are so rotten they don't even need to hide their ill-gotten gains. There's no way to use the book against them because their own subjects already know and accept their corruption. They'll even defend it at times.
That's depressingly true.
If they ever have some interest in the book, it might be to use it as blackmail for others. They might not feel the need to silence anyone who read the thing. Ha! You're a damn genius, man. A damn genius. Any other country and that woman would have had you extradited by snapping her fingers. But now they're trapped in the Concordian bureaucracy machine, and they can't even bring up the book because our noble king might just decide to keep it for himself. However, they still got me pinned, and eventually they'll sort out the bureaucratic nightmare. And even if they cannot, well, then they're just going to resort to other methods. Assassins, for example, or just a couple of thugs waiting for me in a dark corner late at night. Things are not looking good. My friend, you leave that to me. To you? Yes, I'll just need some time and maybe a small peek at this book of yours. How will that help? Trust me, Zest. In the meantime, you should focus on winning that fight. Fine. So I can take the book with me? Sure, but stay in the town. It will come flying to my face like a cannonball, breaking everything in the way if you take it too far away from me. I found out the hard way. I don't need to go that far. Just ask a few things to a friend. Don't worry, you'll have it back soon. Very well.
This whole story has been pretty crazy, Zest. But Valzoy is right. The best we can do is focus on defeating the Festimancers.
I must say that repairing the roof does not sound all that important anymore.
You don't get it, do you?
Get what?
The Festimancers are the current epic chefs of the Concordian cooking scene. And the king himself, the maximum authority, is the judge. This is not a battle about one stupid carrot anymore. This is a dispute for the title that holds absolute supremacy in the culinary arts.
Sounds very nice, but becoming more famous won't save me.
It's not just about fame. This is Concordia. That title would make us pretty much champions of the realm. You'd be under the direct protection of the king himself, untouchable.
Oh.
If we win, you're saved. No one will lay a finger on you, as long as you remain Concordia, of course.
Perhaps, but now they know where I am. I'll still be a sitting duck for not-so-legal methods. Again, leave that to me. You just focus on winning that fight. The Epic Chef title seems like the best plan at the moment. We finally get to the name of the game, Epic Chef. Let's go.
Yes, it won't be easy, though. The plan requires defeating the best chefs in the world.
And they're mages.
Yes, they're probably going to add some very impressive magical effects to the dish.
Maybe we should do the same then.
We're not going to learn magic in a few days, Zest. Much less become proficient like them.
No, but what about cooking something that is already magical?
Like what?
Dragon. Okay, no. Just, no.
And where would we even get a dragon anyway?
According to Agoras, there's a dragon nesting in the depths of the ruins of my property.
And your plan is to awaken it so it can kill us all. Guess that this would put an end to all of our problems.
Well, we might need a bit of help, that's for sure. I'll ask him what we can do.
Sure, ask the crazy ghost of the deranged guy. And why not get the Infinigon involved while we're at it?
Wouldn't be surprised if it was the next step, but let's start by asking Agorius about the ruin.
This is insane, Zest!
Everything has been insane since I moved in here. I might as well keep going with the flow.
It is said that the first epic chef conquered the heart of a goddess by cooking her a dragon. They say it made her cry tears of joy, which became the stars in the heavens. Nonsense, of course. The era of myth is called that for a reason. But dragons have always been depicted as the summit of the culinary experience in the ancient stories. So maybe there's some truth in there. Maybe dragons are delicious! I guess we'll find out, won't we? So we're going dragon hunting?
We're hunting for allies first. We can't do this alone. Let's start by asking Agorius. I know it sounds a bit too much, but at least we know we're facing the ultimate challenge. If we hunt down the dragon, everything else will seem like a joke in comparison. We can't possibly face any monster more vile and destructive than that. Except the critic union, obviously. But why this evil tower, though? It doesn't help your case when you're trying not to look evil. That sign's still terrible. First point of the day. Isferato, when is the guy going to come back? He says he's been busy this week. He spent hours torturing our ears with that hammer, and he didn't even finish the job. How can that idiot have clients at all, let alone be busy? Well, manual labor is hard to find these days. Everyone got so focused on getting white shackle jobs that... You know what? Screw the guy. We'll finish the damn job ourselves. No offense, but it doesn't look like any of you has ever held a tool in your lives. Touché. Called it. Very subtle. I have, though. Construction tools, not cutlasses. Well, you used to work in construction, so I'm expecting that maybe... Used to. As in, not anymore. Be thankful that I handle all the talking with the workers that you lot don't have to get socially anxious. Let's forget about the reform thing. We have something big going on. Zest again, I presume? Remember the days when we could hold a meeting without talking about that bugger? What has he done this time, Mal? Ignited the masses? Challenged Temperus himself? I wouldn't be surprised. Let's talk about the Lucerians demanding his extradition for, well... something pretty serious. I don't even know if I should believe it. Has to be expected from such a dangerous man. Zest and Michaela are going to face the Festamancers in a battle for the Epic Chef title. Winner takes all. The Festamancers? Been years since they took the title and no one has dared to challenge them since.
Takes a special kind of naive recklessness to challenge a couple of mages. Was it another of Zest's outbursts again?
Didn't quite go like that. The king was the one who suggested it. The king suggested it? He's not very prone to taking initiative like that, or initiatives in general. Well, I might have pushed him slightly towards the idea before he decided it was about time the Festamancers defended the Epic Chef.
So they didn't even want to duel?
That's not very important. I'd say it is a bit important. You overreached. Here we go again with the complaints again. This will be the clash of the decade, Angra. They will be the center of attention for the whole kingdom. They should be grateful. She has a point, though. We're not supposed to go around starting beef with between the chefs, Mal. They start beef by themselves every other day. What's the difference if we help out a bit? Well, it's not our careers on the line, for one. Their careers also get quite boosted by those quarrels. No beef, no notoriety. You should know that by now. It's part of the glamour. This is a bit beyond beef. Zest has been challenging too many major figures in the cooking scene. It's causing a lot of damage. And then there's all these demolishing articles you've been writing after each and every clash. In case you haven't realized it, it is my job. You can't tell me that Anazashi didn't deserve it. Maybe she did. But it was our job as well to stir up trouble between Zest, Mitriel, and the Festamancers. It was only a matter of time before Zest would pick a fight with them. They were already at each other's throats anyways. As for Mitriel, the woman has enough ambition to make a Zunian Grand Vizier cheer and clap in professional admiration. Not to mention that the Festamancers have been sitting up there unchallenged for years. You can't tell me this is a big deal. I'm just a bit surprised that this happened so shortly after the Festamancers spoke against her ideas regarding the newer, healthier cuisine. You're delusional, Angra. You disappoint me. But right now, we have a fight for the Epic Chef title coming, and everything else will need to wait. Huh. That is quite intriguing. Hey, Agoras, got a minute? No, I'm busy calculating my tax returns. It's time to assault the ruin and clean up the last bit of the curse. Why now? Because I need to hunt a dragon and you said that there's one in the ruin. Always a happy hour. When you finish this game, what goes in place? Bayo again? Yeah, it will be, Cereza. We'll go into this place. What can I say? I needed a good excuse to get into a dark dungeon and awaken a fire-breathing monster. And your grand motivation must be one of your ridiculous cooking contests. Yes, with some nuance. Must be some pretty loud nuance. If I don't win this contest, it's very likely that the Lucerians will drag me away and chop my head off. Stop pretending like you're not listening from behind the walls, you old Shermergan snoop. You're treating the family curse with disrespect, Zest. You keep saying curse. It's more like a monumental mess you caused trying to get down there. It was worth it. All my life amounts to this discovery. We are talking about answers on divine scope, Zest. Straight from era of myth. Why are you so obsessed with the era of myth, though? Why do you expect to find the answer so far away in the past? Because I've seen what's buried in there with my own eyes. During my years of sea exploration, I found... Yes, I have to call it a ruin, for lack of a better word. And there I discovered the rod of domination. I spent decades learning how to use it. Turns out it has power over the trinkets of the ancients. In time, I got access to some of it, summoning and commanding prodigies from the Underdigger, controlling the minds of lesser beings like the spiders. Child's play with the rod. But all these things were mere crumbs. I needed greater artifacts. I tried to return to the old ruin with my new knowledge to test the rod with the marbles. I was forced to abandon. Alas, it would seem like the sea swallowed that damn island. So I looked for another ruin, and I located one right here. Still nothing compared to the one on the island, but it's definitely from the era of myth. It is said to lead to the halls of the gods. There's something big awaiting down there. If the rod can do so much wonders with Saul's trinkets I found, what it would be able to do with what we find in the whole temple would be legendary, Zest. I spent years carefully unearthing the place without harming it. Spent my energy protecting it from the bandits and greedy souls. By the time the ruin was accessible, I only had enough money to hire a small group of adventurers to explore it to the promise of treasure. And I'm not talking a treasure of power. I'm talking a treasure in the form of answers. I'm looking for a fundamental breakthrough with our understanding of the world. This will be worth every single sacrifice I've made. Hence the importance to get back into the ruin. Back? Yes. I was down there once already. It's where I died. Did you see the dragon? Didn't reach the dragon at all. The adventurers and I had just reached the main chamber, then everything went black. I assumed the ceiling. I see. On an unrelated question, did you make any background tests on those adventurers you hired? I trust my gut. Why? Never mind, but you're a spirit now. Can't you just float down there? I've tried, but the barrier is so potent, and not even incorporeal beings like me can get in. I went overboard making sure I'd be able to keep the ruin safe, and now I can't undo what I did. Why? The magical seal is tuned to my blood. Only a true member of the Whalestrom family can dispel it. That's why I had prepared a very complex spell, so my soul was bound to the painting. The barrier would arise in the event of my death, and arranged in my will that my descendants would be summoned to this place. But none of them came. They even sold the villa to some random peasant. Ungrateful little brats. Yes, how dare they not be good puppets, youth these days. People should be curious about their roots. Maybe they knew about them more than you think. That's why they didn't come. Yeah, keep twisting the knife. Hey, you should be proud. That means your descendants are not idiots. You look like the kind of person who would value that. Mere consolation, considering that the object of my obsession is out of my reach. Maybe your expectations were a bit too high. That's all I have left, sis. If I manage to find some facet of cosmic truth down there, I'll accept my death a happy man. I thought that the truth was the kind of thing that got revealed to you when you died, you know? In the afterlife and all that. When my spirit was released from my body, it flew straight into the painting. No stops. I know as much about the afterlife as you do. I'm not even the first to do something like this. Then why don't you just, I don't know, destroy the painting and see what's beyond if you're so curious? Same reason why you turn the lights on before stepping into a dark room. Because you don't want to hit your spectral pinky on the table leg? So to say. Besides, damn, if everyone with metaphysical concerns was to follow your advice, we'd run out of philosophers in a week. Where you see the problem, others might see solutions. I heard pretty much the same joke regarding paleontologists. Fine, okay, so there's a barrier, no problem. If Finnegan ate your other magical barrier for breakfast, I'll just go talk to them. You keep hanging out with those maniacs and see what happens. They're not that bad. He'll eventually make a huge mess again, and then the angry mob is going to remember who was hanging out with him. I've been chased by mobs before. Suit yourself. However, that little triangle won't be enough to face a dragon. You'll need an airship. An airship, huh? Noted. And a powerful weapon. We have a golem. Powerful as the guy is, dragons are magical creatures. That beam won't be that effective. You need a cannon. A powerful, armor-piercing, magically powered cannon. Very well, keep that in mind. Once you gather the 3 things, we'll meet at the entrance of the room. I still don't think we'll get it up through the barrier, but better to be ready in case of unexpected success. Is there any extra room in the painting, in case something goes wrong? Back off, squatter. Jeez, I just asked. My god. There's no need to be rude. I just asked a question. Very well, here we are. Let's find that shrine. Ernest, according to the information we got, the shrines of the ruins of the small town needs to be in the north. Also learned that the area is disputed by the Orcish tribes of the north and the witches of the west. Guess we just got the area before they overlap and look for some traces of the ruins. Alright, let's do it. Is this the place? Yes, I think so. Finally. However, it's covered in plants. I can't perform the ritual like this. Anything we can do? Well, now that you mention it, we could set it on fire. On fire? Yes, if we had 3 planks of good quality wood, we might be able to light a fire. If you could quickly go back to the villa, we'd be waiting here and... Thank you. The pirates just took care of it, thank bless. You're welcome. Now let's go. Let's do it already. Alright. Oh, Temperus, hear our voice. We ask you to lend us your flame to ignite our passion. We shall keep it, we shall feed it. See you all. There you go. We shall return a roaring fire. And we shall ignite the heavens. Is that it? Yes. Strange prayer. There's a lot of prayers like that in the Church of Temperus. A lot of meaning has been lost of history. But if done right, the enchantments still work. In any case, we have the gem with us. It is powered up. We'll bring the good news to the captain. Thank you, priest, and thank you. Stowaway. I'll see you at the docks then. Thanks for the help, Bastines. No. You're welcome, Zest. Alright, so we gotta head back. I do play games that are easy because I feel like the stories in it are worth the time investment into it. Games that are too difficult for me to try out, if it's hard for me to get to the story, I can't do it. That's why I haven't played like Lies of P, I haven't played Dark Souls or anything like that. It's just one of those things where like, if the game is too difficult for me to really just get through to get to the story, then I'm not good. What is a tryhard? A tryhard is someone who basically plays on the hardest difficulties to prove a point. When you play a game, you get to choose how you play, whether you play for the excitement, the difficulty, etc, etc, etc. But those, I call people who are tryhards, those who just like advocate so hard that everyone must play on the hardest difficulty, or else why are you calling yourself a gamer? It's like they're the ones who call casual gamers not gamers. They're the ones who say women can't be gamers. They're the ones who say, and these are the people who use disabled gamers as a shield, essentially, and abuse that, being like, oh, this disabled gamer could do it, why can't you, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, that disabled gamer probably went through a lot of hardship to do it on their own for their own validation and their own enjoyment of the game. You're using their accomplish as a fucking excuse to be an elitist tryhard. So it's one of those things where a tryhard is someone who absolutely believes that games need to be a heavy, sweaty competition, and that the only purpose of games is to be a heavy, sweaty competition. So yeah. Would Brian like it? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Oh, what's Birch doing? I have no idea. Doing the moonwalk, I guess. Ah, Zest, you are to be commended for the service you did to us. It was nothing. Nonsense, you helped us restore our ultimate weapon and made our hearts burn again with optimism. Guess we're even for the stowawaying. We are. And more than that, take this. Neat. We'll be happy to visit your restaurant when we're around, Zest. Sounds like a perfect place to relax after a long time at sea. And you'll be very welcome, Captain. Be careful with that cannon. It is not us who need to be careful, Zest. Not anymore. Alright, got an eye patch. How sweet. That's nice. Alright. Hi. Zest? Yes? I have an order from the captain. An order? Yes, we need some food delivered to the Port Authority. Ah, that kind of order. What will it be? I don't think they care all that much as long as it's balanced and with intense flavors. 5 dishes will do. Alright, I'll see what I can do. We'll be waiting for you at the Port Authority. Okay. Hey, Valerica! Hey, did you finally manage to get it right? What's up? Well, a lot. You see, recently we were involved in a little... Yeah, you have a duel with the Festimasters coming, everyone knows. I see. Saves a lot of explaining. That's good. Too much talk lately.
I'll be happy to help you out, and I'm sure the jerks downstairs will insist on helping as well.
Why?
Because if there's one thing to despise more than independent mages, it is successful independent mages.
This might be true, but technically we shouldn't get involved in this one.
Why?
Festive practitioners like the Festive Masters help normalize the use of magic among the population. One of the main necessities of the imperative is in bringing humanity to fully embrace magic, so having a couple of mages as the leaders of cuisine is a fortunate situation. It might bring people to see magic as less of a threat. A lie, of course. Magic is still dangerous and a powerful force, but at least they help bring people closer to accepting it. So you can't help? Well, might be a bit frowned upon by our superiors, but we can argue that the Festive Masters have become too elitist and are counterproductive or something like that. Deep down, most Infinigon mages kind of hate them, so I don't think anyone will complain if we lend you a hand. Great!
So what is it then?
I need to hunt a dragon, and I've been told I can find one in the ruins near my home. I need some help to overcome the magical barriers. You're crazy.
Hey, that's quite something from them, Zess. You should be proud of yourself.
I thought you could help. I've seen you vaporize an unspeakable horror with a finger snap, literally. A dragon is a very different matter, Zess. The last time the Infinigon fought one of those, our criterion had to get pretty extreme. So you want help? Fortunately, it's very unlikely that there's a dragon in those ruins, so we'll humor you and dispel the barrier. Might find something interesting in there. Fantastic, then. We'll meet at the ruin.
Mm-hmm. Hey, friends! It's been a bit.
Hey, Zess, good to see you. Adrive, I was wondering if you could lend me a hand.
Say no more.
Say no more. It's for the grand combat against those mages.
Well, yes it is.
Of course we'll help you out, Zess. We've been wanting those Phocians removed from the throne for years now. How fitting that a friend of ours is going to be the one to do it, and that will be helping. Glad to see some enthusiasm. What do you want from us to do? What do you want us to do then? We're going to hunt a dragon. That would be a pretty decent way to fight global warming. Don't you think? You're crazy, but we'll help you out if you come up with a decent plan. Well, you know what they say about the people who follow crazy people around. And they might be waiting for an excuse to stop following them? Okay, point taken. We'll meet at my place when I have everything ready. Alright, and I like how the cats are all looking at Frischka, being like meow, meow in the background. I saw that. Hey, Captain. Hey, Captain. Ah, it's good to see you. Nice of you to keep docking at the old port. Gotta admit that this district has gained a lot of spirit lately. It's become one of our favorites in the Gulf. And I'm glad this has kept you coming back, because I have a little favor to ask. Shoot. Funny you say that, because I need to borrow that Temperian Wrath Cannon I helped you with. It is the most dangerous piece of artillery, Zess. Are you planning to start a revolution? No, not quite. I'm planning to hunt a dragon. I have so many questions I don't know quite where to start. I can imagine. I'll leave it at that one. Is it a life or death matter? Pretty much. Very well then, but we can't simply lend you the cannon. It's too dangerous to leave it in experienced hands. I'll talk to the crew and we'll join the hunt ourselves. Fantastic. Thank you, Captain. Well, my lad, I've been longing to shoot down a dragon since I saw one burn the capital and half the fleet to a crisp. I guess it's a bit of a personal vengeance as well. Irrational, true, and a bit childish. Alas, we are only human. Here's hoping that we don't get to watch each another city burn. I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm sure we'll be fine. Everything will be okay. Thank you for coming, everyone. As you know, today we're going to hunt on a dragon. What's the plan? The plan is simple. First, the Infinigon is going to get rid of the magical seal. They won't be able to.
If it's anything like the one in the crypt, your magical flux matrix was out of date. Must have been very impressive 100 years ago, but not in this day and age.
You think so, geeks? This barrier was powered by my own death. You will have a very bad day if you try to brute force approach.
I bet it won't last for 5 minutes. You don't even need to be careful this time.
It'll be quite a spectacle when the ward bounces all the arrogance right back to your faces. Let's get back to the plan. Once the doors open, Agorius, the Infinigon and I will head to the ruin and shoo the dragon out. Then Hadriv and Patronus will be ready to... Wait a minute. What do you mean, shoo the dragon out? Well, I guess we'll startle it so it leaves the dungeon. Can you elaborate on that? Yeah, we might cause some ruckus, or might lure it out somehow. So your plan is something along the lines of facing a 16-ton fire-breathing lizard, rubbing your fingers together and going... Pss, pss, pss. He wasn't talking to you, kiddo. Well, a triangle of the Infinigon will be down there as well. I'm sure we'll come up with something. I wouldn't worry too much. I don't know what we'll find down there, but it won't be a dragon at all. Why not? Dragons may be quite magical, but they are not demons. They can't survive locked underground for Temperis knows how many centuries. Could be an undead dragon? Why are you so convinced that there's even been a dragon down there anyway? Look at the statue, man. There has to be a dragon. The Imperial Palace had a statue of a lion in the courtyard. Doesn't mean there's a lion waiting table. Waiting inside. There totally was a lion, though. There was a lion in the Imperial Palace? For 2 or 3 weeks, at least. It was so the sculptor could have a reference at the statue. We were part of an expedition who captured it in Zune and brought it back to the palace. Couldn't they have used a drawing? She did use a drawing. So? Well, the drawing artist needed a reference as well.
Taxpayer money at its best.
It's not the point anyway. The lion statue was not there to pay homage to a blasted lion. How do you know? Maybe they grew fond of him. I'm sure they did. But they didn't build the statue to show there was a lion inside. Well, there was, for 2 or 3 weeks. The statue was there because there was a lion inside. So you're saying that they erected a statue of a lion they used as a model for the statue in order to commemorate the fact that the lion was in the palace while they were sculpting the statue. No, wait, he's got a point. He's talking about the casual necessity, not intent. If there hadn't been a lion in the building, there wouldn't be any lion statues. So the lion being in the building was a necessity in order to have the statue. Ergo, the statue proves a lion. Has no necessity, my ass! They could have bought the lion statue in Corvus instead of dragging a poor cat halfway across the world! But it wouldn't be that statue. Even so, the statue was not there to imply that there was a living lion in the palace, even though there was a lion inside at some point!
You could say there was a symbolic lion, as in the Emperor is authority or something like that.
Fine. If we find a symbolic dragon, we'll exercise some symbolic caution to protect ourselves from a symbolic danger. Fair enough.
Just in case the dragon is not so symbolic, what do we do?
Oh, well, when it comes out of the ruin, Hadriv and his guys will be waiting. They will shoot the dragon down using the airship. You want to take a dragon down using an aero taxi. Oh, we're not using Sputnik for this. We've got something far more fitting for this occasion. What do you got? Oh my god! That is so cool! Behold the Prozac! The Prosaic, not Prozac, the Prosaic! The ultimate response against global warming.
You loaded the Magicka-powered cannon into that thing?
Yes.
You installed a Magicka-powered cannon at the side of a non-Magicka-powered flying ship?
Yes.
You realize that if you shoot it as it is, you will establish a new world record as the most consecutive barrel rolls in history.
That might be a fair point. We may want to move the cannon to the front.
Ah, prancers and arachnophobes teaming up. You pose more danger to yourselves than any dragon would.
Hey! Jala, don't be a jerk. I'm sure they worked real hard to build that flying thing. Hard enough to make it fly without returning your damn crystals.
It shows.
We'll show you, alright, by taking out the dragon with it. I'm sure you will be able to take care of any dragons we encounter today.
We'll even pretend you're not using a magical cannon.
Damn it, Jala. Don't down the snarkiness, will you? We were going to get us chased out of another village. Okay. We didn't come here to insult each other, so let's just go to the seal. You guys prepare the ship and stand by. Yes, I think that was a ghost. So you're as surprised about this as we are? Why didn't you comment on it? I don't know. Why didn't you comment on it? Everyone was so natural about the whole thing, I felt inappropriate. Well, I guess it would be awkward to bring it up now. Okay. Let's see what we have here. You won't be able to dismantle it.
I bet we won't even need to deviate from the standard procedure.
Keep bragging. You're only sweetening the anticipation of your admitted failure. Well, we do have some dragging rights. The Infinigon has breached into so many magically protected dungeons that we have developed a pretty effective methodology. Zest, please stop looking at the glyph. It could be dangerous. Move out of the way so we can proceed with the initial Magicka scan. Then we will determine what kind of equipment is needed. Sure. Don't take it too bad, okay? The fact that you managed to construct a seal that lasted so long is quite impressive. You don't take it too bad when you can't open it. The thing is tied to my blood, and nothing more than that shall open it. Yeah, well, it's not like we were going to follow the rules. Bilius, carry on with the preliminary scan. Well, damn! Looks like someone didn't account for the entropic decay when casting his dramatic self-sacrificial spell.
I so did account for entropic decay!
Yeah, right. And I'm sure you also use a recursive resonating crystal to keep the loop active.
I used to!
No reason to be ashamed. You did well for an independent mage. Hey, and the part with that boundary, the painting seems to have worked pretty well, and it's still holding. Pretty spooky.
Don't you dare patronize me! Not everyone was lucky enough to have the Imperial Treasury funding their every whim.
The Imperial Treasury is just history now.
Pretty much like your ward.
Look at the bright side, Agorius. At least the pass is open, eh?
Huzzah.
Yeah, and that was just a scan. They weren't even actually trying to disable it yet. How deep can these stairs go? It feels like we've been here for hours.
We're almost there. We're pretty close to where I lost consciousness. Oh.
Is that you?
It would seem so.
You seem surprised to see your remains, considering you must have known what went down in here.
I always thought I died because of a cave.
More like you got carved in.
Hey, it's his corpse. For the love of Temperus, give the man a rest. Being jerky is one thing, but right now is a bit into monster territory, Jala.
Alright. Sorry about your loss.
It's alright. I'm kind of used to it at this point. I'm not thrilled to discover that my hirelings betrayed me, but at least they were trapped in here by the ward that when the spell kicked in, served them right.
So, is there a dragon around? If there was a dragon in the room, you would need to ask, but let's take a good look. A little light, please. Big portal thing from... Why am I thinking Battlestar Galactica? Well, what do we have here?
A portal. This is what I've been looking for all my life. A portal into the realm of the gods. Finally, the answers are at hand.
You've been looking for this all your life?
And part of my own life, yes. Well worth it to this truly revolutionary discovery.
Oh boy, you really haven't been paying much attention to the last few decades, have you?
I've been quite isolated for the last century. Being a disembodied spirit doesn't do wonders for your social life.
Oh, Stargate, yes. Oh, Stargate, yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but I'll need to be blunt. A finding like this portal would have been revolutionary about 20 years ago.
What do you mean?
About 15 years ago, these things started coming out of the ground all over the world. They began spewing all kinds of monsters.
Monsters?
Very aggressive. They overran the Tuperian Empire and started going after everyone else. It was grim. For all the while, I felt like it was the end. Eventually, we managed to solve the situation. It's a long story.
So, you mean there are not any meaningful answers behind this gateway?
If anything, they've generated one hell of a lot of questions. But we can tell you that those portals are pretty common knowledge now.
Then, all was pointless.
It's one of the reasons the Infinigon frowns upon solitary research and wizards keeping petty secrets.
Yes, the generous Infinite One. You are very good at sharing knowledge within the borders of your own organization.
We classify dangerous knowledge to protect the general public.
No, you do it because it gives you power. You don't care about protecting the people, you care about your damn imperative.
They're one and the same.
So you say, of course. This way you might convince a few poor sods to surrender their lifelong efforts to you and to step aside when you reap the results of their hard work and sacrifice.
Is this about ego, then? Your findings would have created a new field of research for 100 years before the disaster. Your name and merits would be in the history books. The desperate stand could have been a joke. Instead, all your knowledge and breakthroughs died with you, and what could have been a revolutionary discovery is now obsolete. All because you expected to be the only one to find what? True mortality? Godhood? I'm sorry, but I think you're being unfair. Oh, really? Then what was he after? Answers, like everyone else. Well, we all look for answers in our own way. There's no standardized form to the meaning of life. And you certainly have no right to monopolize human curiosity. For a bunch of people who constantly claim to be defending humanity, you sure can be obtuse when it comes to understanding it. He could have put all the effort into the service of a greater cause, and we all could have benefited from it. How do you know that? Maybe within your organization, he would have achieved all of those things you were saying. Or maybe his spirit would have withered and he would have become a useless chump. His life path brought him to the verge of a world-end changing discovery. He played by his own rules and it set him on the right track. And I'm pretty sure that he was on the right track because he played by his own rules. Maybe within the Infinigon, he would have been pushing papers all of his life. Instead, he found his path and followed it through. It just happened to be a solitary path. But it was his to follow. The way I see it, it's pretty much all that can be asked of us. I might owe you an apology.
Save it. I'm no saint. You don't need to feel sorry about me. And thank you, Zist. But that doesn't change the fact that I gambled and lost everything. But enough pity. You should focus on your own struggle. You still need that dragon.
You did say there was a dragon here, but I don't see any trace of the thing.
And I didn't lie. What I learned from this place implied that there was a gate to a world where the dragons and gods reside. As far as I understand, it's related to the portal.
I don't know about the gods, but some of these portals have been known to bring dragons into our world. However, they all shut down after that mess years ago. Even the partially reactivating one requires immense amounts of work and magical energy. It's not something we can do, at least not without a grand scale of effort that is simply not be approved. Not for a cooking tournament. Is it the only way? Well, it's either that or we use a control artifact from the original creators of the portal, which have never been found. While the portals themselves are common, controlling them effectively is currently impossible. That would be one hell of a breakthrough.
I see. Not quite the triumph I was expecting. Zest, I trust you are carrying the artifact with you?
The artifact? Wait, are you implying you have a Zithinian control device? Well, Agorius found this wand a long while ago. He says that... Don't point that thing at the... Oh. Oh, shit. They're taking a while. Maybe the mages are right and there's no dragon after all. Perhaps it's for the better.
Wait, that was...
You're Temperance, we've seen this before. Back at the capital.
But this one felt a bit different.
Yeah, maybe this time nothing will... The dragon! It's a dragon! Keep it in sight! Ready to fire the cannon! He got it in sight! Wait for it to get closer! Steady! Steady! Fire! You didn't load it? It doesn't work. What?
That shockwave must have messed up the magic field.
The dragon!
What is going on up there?
Are they fighting a dragon?
Not our problem. At least not yet. Let's leave the house unguarded. Let's use the chance to recover the book.
Goddamn mages and your contraptions! Do something, damn it, you blasted witch! Fix this!
I'm trying! But this is Infinigon tech! I'm in the dark here!
Why did we stay on the ground? We could have stayed on the ground!
I'm getting to throw up! I think I fixed the cannon!
Turn to face the dragon!
Wait, you idiots are gonna kill us all!
I don't think they'd even know we're here! We have a clear shot! Fire! That happened. My voice is so sore from this. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Well, That was a mighty stellar performance. Gotta love it when a plan comes together.
For a plan to come together, you need an actual plan to begin with. I'm going to call for reinforcements. We need at least 2 octagons of vectors to handle this. Are you sure we actually need them? I mean, look at the thing. It seems to be more confused than aggressive. You mean the dragon is not hostile? I would have expected it to be more fire-breathing, that's for sure. Maybe this one's not like the one we found during the Desperate Stand. You know, it's not determined to kill everything in its sight. I see. So we might be able to come up with some way to handle it peacefully? Maybe domesticate it? What did he say?
He says you're crazy.
You speak Nyarian?
Just taking a wild guess.
Well, we've got something. We gotta do something. Brute force didn't go very well.
Maybe. There could be a way to try a peaceful solution for a change. I'm all for being optimistic, but wrapping a flower garland around that thing's neck might be a bit tricky. Have faith. Come to the magic shop. I think maybe we'll find a solution.
Let's pray to Temperance that the thing doesn't decide to start a barbecue. Yeah, to Temperance of all people. What? Nothing. See you at the shop. Don't tell me you guys have like a dragon summoner thing. So, any luck?
Yes, we have devised an improvised dragon nest.
Oh my god.
Here, have the blueprints.
A dragon nest? It's not a giant parrot, It's not a giant parrot, Valerica!
Give the thing a try. We've used some harmony crystals and loaded it with some soothing enchantments. It just might work. And I can't see how I can make anything worse.
Yeah, but I'm still requesting a force of vectors, just to be extra sure.
Have some faith, Zorvan.
My faith will be stronger with the force of battle mages supporting it. In any case, we'll need to dig the control rod out of the wreckage of that thing. That thing is important. By the way, have you seen your ghost again? Still hasn't shown up, and the ruins are more ruinous now. But I can't go look for him. I'm a bit worried. I'm sure you haven't seen the last of him. Looked like a tough bone to crack.
But that shockwave, it messed with the magica fields. The cannon enchantments were all warped. He may have been dispelled?
Spirits are not something that can be dispelled. However, the enchantment that kept him bound to this world. I don't know, Zest. You'll have to wait this one out and hope for the best. Okay, I'll focus on the dragon for now. So wait. We can craft a dragon nest? But we need special wood planks. Okay. That's gonna be a bit.